Hello students, welcome to another video on energy chapter for class 7. Today we are going to discuss about the types of energy. Now energy, you should know, cannot be created nor it can be destroyed. It is just converted from one type or one form to the other form. Now in your syllabus, we talked about two types of energies, particularly that is energy in action and energy that is stored. When we talk about energy in action, we mean that those kind of energy which are able to bring about some sort of a change, or we are able to feel them. And energy stored means they are stored in one form or the other. Now, talking about energy in action, the first kind of energy is the heat energy. Now, you might have felt heat quite a lot of times, right? You know, when you touch anything hot, you feel how hot it is. You get a sensation of hotness. Or when anything is cool, so you are able to say that yes, it is cold. So, the main source of heat energy is obviously the sun. And also we get the heat energy by burning the wood, coal, petrol. Also, heat energy is known as thermal energy. And you remember, children, that heat energy is responsible for the sensation of hotness or coldness primarily. Then we move on to the light energy. So the light energy is again the energy that helps us to see things around us. So it is obviously a form of energy. And the main source again of this energy is the sun. The other sources like artificial sources can be the candle, bulb, tube light, etc. And the light from the sun, you know, the plants, the green plants, they make the food with the help of the process of photosynthesis. And then the food is then consumed by the living organisms. And also, you can say that light energy sustains the life on Earth. And even if the light energy falls on the photographic films, a chemical change happens in them, which leads to the formation of that image on the film. Moving to the next kind of energy in action is sound energy. Now you are able to hear me, right, children? So this is nothing but the sound energy. It is again produced by the vibrating body. Like if you just speak something and touch your throat, you can feel the vibrations there. So the vocal cords are there in our throat which vibrate and they produce the energy. Similarly, you might have seen many musical instruments like the guitar, sitar, and when they vibrate, they produce a sound. Similarly, if you take example of a drum, you will see when you beat a drum with high speed, there is a lot of vibration in it, which we are able to hear. So this energy is reaching our eardrums and thus the vibration is helping us to hear the sound. The next kind of energy we are talking about is electrical energy. If you look around in your house, there are a lot of things which are working with the help of electricity. So that is because the energy which is produced by the flow of electric charges. Now these are electrons. You might have read in chemistry, children, about electrons, and they move around. The more electrons are there, the more the good conduction happens, and so the energy produced by this flowing electrical charge is known as electrical energy. It is used to run a lot of electrical appliances, let it be a washing machine, the fan, the bulbs, etc. Also, when the electrical energy, it is being available to us for the use and it's coming to our houses through the wires and cables, it is known as electricity. Moving on to the next kind of energy that I was talking about, that is the stored energy. Energy stored in different forms, in different parts of our body, in different things around us. Like most of us use our hands and legs for various activities. Like we are able to walk because of the energy in our muscles. We are able to run. We are able to ride also because of the muscles contraction and relaxation which happens. So the energy stored in our muscles is called the muscular energy, and this energy is utilized for the various activities that we do. Then comes the chemical energy. Now, chemical energy is referring to the energy that is stored in the molecular bonds. Now, these are nothing but the forces which holds the molecule together. You know that around you there are a lot of things which are made up of different kinds of molecules. So, all of them are held by certain types of energy in them. So that energy is the chemical energy. Okay, children? Like if you might have heard about the coal being burnt. The molecules of coal, they undergo some chemical change and they give out the heat energy, light energy. Similarly, the chemical energy is given out during the burning of any kind of fossil fuel, and also it is helping us to move around for transportation and for cooking. The next type of energy that we will be talking about is magnetic energy. Now you might have seen magnets, you might have played with them, or you might have seen magnetic stickers on your fridge, right? So they are the magnets which are able to attract the magnetic iron things, iron objects. And so the energy which is possessed by the magnets is known as magnetic energy. This is also used in lifting the heavy iron objects, or it is also used in removing anything magnetic which enters into our body. For medical purposes it is used as well, and also for separation of the iron particles or the iron objects from the non-magnetic substances. Moving on to the last type that we are discussing in the stored energy, that is the nuclear energy. So you know that the nucleus of the atom is in the center, which is consisting of the protons and the neutrons. So the energy stored, children, in that nucleus is known as the nuclear energy. Remember, we are talking about the chemical body. We are not talking about a biological nucleus like that we have in a cell, okay? And the atoms which are there, they are very tiny particles. They make up the object. Everything around you is made up of atoms ultimately. So there is a lot of energy in these atoms. So the nucleus of an atom either splits, or when they different nuclei they combine together, they release a lot of energy, mostly in the form of heat. And this energy is also used in the generation of electricity. So now let us move to the transformation of energy. Now you know that, as I told you in the beginning, that energy cannot be created nor it can be destroyed. We are only transforming the one form of energy to another kind. So the process of changing one form of energy to another is known as the energy transformation or transformation of energy. Call it anyways. I will give you some simple examples to understand it. Like, you have all seen the light energy, the solar energy, sun's energy, which is used by the plants, and they are converted into the chemicals in the body of the plants and stored as food, like glucose. Similarly, the electric bulb in your house, that is working with the help of electricity, right? The electrical energy, they get converted into the heat and light. Similarly, the solar energy, it is using the light energy to get converted into the electrical energy. In many equipments like fans, washing machines, etc., the electrical energy is also converted into the mechanical energy, and they are able to function and help us to do our work. So there can be many examples, children, of this chemical, the conversion of energy, that is energy transformation. So in the comment section, I would like you to write some examples that you know about energy changes. Now, the sources of energy again can be various sources, like it can be the sun, water, wind, fuel. Now, this can be basically categorized into two types, that is the renewable sources of energy and the non-renewable sources of energy. When we are talking about the renewable sources of energy, these are the types of energy which never run out. Like, even if you keep using them again and again, they will never be over. They will be continuously replaced naturally, like the sun's energy, water energy, wind energy, etc. But there are some energy which cannot be used over and over again, as they will be replenished or they will be finished over a period of time. They cannot be replaced, like the petroleum and coal. And you know that petroleum, coal, they take millions of years to be produced. So if you are not very sensible while using them and you finish it soon, then the future generations may not be able to use the petrol and coal for their purposes. Now, quickly recap the different kinds of energy that is around us, the various renewable and non-renewable basic energies that you use in our day-to-day activity, in our day-to-day lives, like the sun's energy, which is called the solar energy. It is a natural source of energy. And nowadays we are also using it for making the solar cookers, solar heaters, solar cells, which are used for cooking, heating, and many electrical purposes also. And the one you already which I have told is that sun's energy being used by the plants. Then we move on to the wind energy. Now you know that moving air is called wind, and you might have seen during cyclones or when there is very stormy days, the wind is able to blow away things to very far off places. It can move very heavy sheets, rooftops, etc. So wind is very powerful, children. And the wind energy can be used by the windmills. You might have seen the windmills, and the windmills, they help in pumping the water and generating the electricity. Then we talk about the water energy. Again, water is having a lot of energy. The flowing water, especially the running water, they possess a lot of energy. That energy is called the water energy. Even the power stations where electricity is generated by using the energy is called the hydel power station. And these hydel power stations, they generate the hydroelectricity, and here huge amount of water is stored in the dams, etc. And as water is kept at a height, they possess a lot of potential energy, right? You remember potential energy we read in the first part of energy chapter. And then when the water is released from these dams, they are getting converted into the kinetic energy, and then they are able to move the turbine's blade, thus producing electricity. Talking about the last energy, that is energy from biomass. Now what is biomass? This is nothing but the waste material or the dead parts of the living bodies which are no more in use. Like the leaves keep falling from the trees, the dry dead leaves. The waste generated in different forms. They are used to produce heat and generate steam. This is also used to produce a methane gas. Also, you might have heard the name of gobar gas, right? So that's nothing but the biomass which is being used for lighting and cooking. It is a very good source of energy if used properly. So with this, today I would like to wrap up. I hope you have understood the basics, the sources of energy, the kinds of energy that we use in a day-to-day life, in a day-to-day activity. If you remember or know about more types of energy and how you use them, don't forget to comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching.